Hi, it's Carrie from KDS Insurance Services. How are you doing on this fine Monday? Hope you had a great weekend. I am really stoked for this week. I've got so much going on, so many positive things, and I just wanted to pop in today. It's not going to be a very long video, but I just wanted to talk to you a little bit today in continuing along with our commercial insurance and talk to you a little bit about errors and omissions insurance. It's a really important policy in place when you are providing services similar to like what I do as an insurance agent, where you provide a service that can open up a liability to you. And the reason that this is so important is because we are all human in this crazy world that we live in. And so human mistakes do happen. And it can happen pretty frequently in areas where you need to document transactions. So for example, in an insurance agency, one of the things that is very important is documenting client correspondence. And in that client correspondence, generally speaking, we do changes. We change address, emails, cars, address, drivers. We add drivers, we delete drivers, we add and we delete vehicles. And so it can be a precarious situation if you're not organized and if you don't document very efficiently in your business. And so this is a policy that protects you in the event you make an error. For a great example would be if you are required to do some sort of change and you forget to do it, and then the customer has a claim or the customer has a problem and the documentation is not done. And so when they go to apply for a claim, the insurance company doesn't have the information needed. That's called an error. And these things do happen. So it is very important to have a very good chain of custody when it comes to these type of inbound requests, depending on whatever business that you are in, whether it be, car service or any other service type industry, air conditioning services, plumbing services, all those type of things where you are providing a service and you make an error. Attorneys, for example, not medical, because that's what we would consider malpractice, but any sort of thing where you make an error or you omit something, where you forget to explain something, you forget to explain a coverage or something like that, where the client thinks that they have that coverage when in actual fact they don't have that coverage. And these type of things do happen, unfortunately, in the service related type industries, the financial services industries. So it is a very important piece of the puzzle for you to make sure that you have a very good system of inbound requests. For me, for example, whenever we get an inbound request, it either has to be actually speaking to somebody, because they don't accept voicemail requests because technology does break down and does go down. So we either have to have a actual telephone conversation where we're speaking to somebody and we're taking down that information, or we have some sort of electronic process where we receive that information, where we can get a document that says, yes, we received that request on Monday at 10:15, and we have a way then to backdate the request. That's very important. Because when you're in these type of services and you have an errors and omissions policy, when you have claims, they absolutely will affect your renewal and will affect the price that you pay annually to protect yourself. We all make mistakes, and we all unfortunately forget to explain things completely down to the letter. That's why it's so important. I can't stress this enough. If you're in those services and you provide documentation, make sure that your clients are reading that documentation and confirming that they understand the coverages and nuances of the product and services that you are supplying. Because unfortunately in our world today, everyone is so busy, and so people don't have a tendency to completely read documentation. So it's important to try to remember to cover all those things when you're talking to your clients. But especially when you're sending them documentation, one thing I would suggest that you put a disclaimer in your communication that says, you know, it is your responsibility to read the attached documentation. If there's any questions or concerns about coverage or explanations, please contact my office and we'll go over those things. You know, in the insurance business in particular, it's very important that we have that process in place so we can then go back and confirm that a vehicle was added on such and such date, or a particular driver was taken off if it's a commercial policy. You know, if we changed an address, also if we made any banking changes, that's another important documentation process that needs to be kept. When I make these changes within my office, then we take that request form, we process the change to the policy, we put it in a pending file, and then once a week goes by, then we check those pending files to make sure those changes are done, and then we file that document away. Well, so why do we do that? Isn't it the carrier's responsibility? Absolutely, it's the carrier's responsibility to get the change done, since that's what we're requesting to the carrier. But that doesn't happen a lot, and I will say within the last 2 years, there's definitely been a challenge when it comes to changes within carriers due to the COVID situation. A lot of carriers are understaffed. A lot of the carriers are still working with staff that's at home, and so the normal resources that they would have within their office, they don't necessarily have now. So errors and omissions insurance, it's a very important insurance to have when you have those type of financial services businesses where you are providing documentation, explaining benefits. So it is an error or an omission on the part of the entity, the owner, and then anyone that is employed by the entity or owner, they are covered. So that's it for today. Like I said, guys, it's just a quick email, but I did want to keep with the 2 email schedule and let you know that I'm going to continue to post these. Remember, they're educational purposes only. I'm not endorsing any carriers. It's to help you understand the coverages that are available to you as a consumer, and to help make you a little bit more educated so it's not quite confusing. And it makes the process go a lot simpler for you. So make it a great rest of the week. Please take a few minutes to stop by my channel, Carrie Devlin Scroggins, and subscribe if you would. I'd certainly appreciate that. That helps me continue to make these videos for you. Give me a thumbs up, and by all means, reach out to me. If there's something that you'd like me to discuss, absolutely happy to do that. You can reach me via my website, which is www.kds-insurance-services, or you can call one of my office numbers, 817-374-4477 or 832-391-8271. And I hope you have a great rest of the week. Stay safe, God bless, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.